Hello, good afternoon. I am Shivam Sharma, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department. Would like to welcome Dr. A.K. Srivastava, Director YCT, Engineer Dinesh Gupta, IIC President YCT, Engineer Rajneesh Mangotra, HOD Civil Engineering, Dr. Mahesh CL, Associate Professor NIEEE, Meenakshi Institute of Technology, Bengaluru, faculty members and my dear students. Today, our department is organizing a webinar on air pollution and its control measures. Now, let me introduce you with our today's resource person. He is Dr. Mahesh CL, who did his BE in Civil Engineering from SJMIT. Then he did MTech in CAD Structures from University BDT College of Engineering, Karnataka, and did PhD from VTU Research Center, Belgavi. He is member of many societies like ISTE, ISRD. He has published more than 30 research papers in national and international journals. He has many publications to his credit. He has attended many FDPs, workshops, conferences at national and international levels. He is reviewer for International Journal of Civil Engineering Publications, etc. Thank you for accepting our invitation, sir. Now it's time to start the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shivam Sharma sir, for a brief introduction.
Thank you.
And I want to thank our HOD sir, Rajneesh Magotra sir, and even the director sir of YCT College for giving me an opportunity to share my few knowledge on air pollution and its control measures. So I'll share the screen now. I think, is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So meanwhile, so thanks for the nice introduction, Shivam sir. And I'm myself Mahesh Kumar CL. I'm working as an assistant professor from Department of Civil Engineering and IIT Meenakshi Institute of Technology from Bangalore, Karnataka. So good afternoon, students. So hereby I'll be explaining an introduction on air pollution and how to control. How do we do that? What are the control measures we have to control this air pollution? So all those things will be taken care now. So start with the outline of the presentation. I'll be explaining about what is environmental pollution and what are the major forms of the pollution and what are the composition of atmosphere and what do you mean by the air pollution and the definition part and what are the sources and what are your causes. So what are the sources and what are your causes and what are the definitions of air pollution and what are the different types of pollution we have and what are the different effects. So along with that, I'm be explaining about the different types of air pollution, and I have taken one small case study. So I've taken one small case study to explain how the air pollution can be controlled and how the air pollution is very difficult to control also. Along with that, I'll be giving you the conclusions. So these are my present contents of the present study. So going ahead with the present topic. So before going for the air pollution, I want to give you what do you mean by the term called pollution. So let me explain what is the definition of the pollution first, and then let me take you people to the air pollution. So what do you mean by a pollution? Pollution is nothing but it is the introduction of the pollutants into the environment, which results in the deleterious effects of such as a nature, which has to endanger the human health, which are harmful for the living resources and for the ecosystems, and impair or interfere with the different amenities and other legitimate uses of the environment. So what is the definition of the pollution basically? So we are introducing the different pollutants to the environment. Okay, so maybe in terms of pollutants are called as carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, or we have methane, or we have sulfur. So we have a different our sulfur, oxides of sulfurs. So we have a different pollutants are there. Those pollutants have been inverted into the has been introduced into the environment, which are causing the dangerous effects. So that procedure is called as your pollution. So light pollution, then visual pollution, and thermal pollution. So basically, I mean to say like we have some 8 to 9 different forms of the pollution. So what do you mean by the air pollution? Basically, so the air pollution, in the air pollution, there are the release of the chemicals and the particulates which are causing the air pollution. So basically, if you can see that we have a and even we have a petrochemical ozone and smoke, which are a very high effective for the which are causing a major reason for air pollution, which will create as a nitrogen oxides and hydrocarbons which reacts to the sunlight. So water pollution is again one more type of pollution via surface runoff, leaching to the groundwater and liquid spills and wastewater discharges, and we have a eutrophication process and littering process. So all these things are affected by this water pollution. So coming to the soil pollution, so like we have a soil contamination occurs when chemicals and are released by the spill or underground storage tank leakage. Among the most significant of the soil contaminants are hydrocarbons, and we have a heavy metals and herbicides, pesticides, and chlorinated hydrocarbons. So because of the heavy metals, like what and all the metals, we have a chromium or cadmium, so we have heavy metals. So our soil contamination occurs. And coming to the radioactive contamination, which is added in the wake of 20th century, which discoveries in atomic physics, we have a radio contamination waste also. Because of that, we have an pollution, and we have a noise pollution which encompasses the roadway noise. As you can see that we have a huge roadway noise, and we have a aircraft noise, and we have industrial noise as well as high intensity sonar. And coming to the light pollution includes the light trespass, over illumination, and astronomical interference. So visual pollution, which can be referred in the presence of like we have a power lines, and we have a scattered land farms and open storage of trash, and we have a municipal solid waste. All these are comes under the visual pollution. Coming to the last one is thermal pollution. We have a temperature changes happening in the water bodies, which are caused by the human influence, and even we can see the different types of chimney structures, whereas the temperature because of the temperature behavior, we have a complete thermal pollution which are happening to the sun environment. So we have a different types of pollution. You need to understand what are the different types of pollution we have, and in that today I'm going to take up the concept called air pollution and its control measures. So now you got to know exactly where we have taken this particular where the air pollution has been started and what is the particular significance of that air pollution. So going ahead now with the composition of the atmosphere. Is my screen visible, students?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. So going ahead with the composition of the atmosphere, because before I start with the air pollution, you have to know what are the different types of components you have, what are different types of gases you have, and what percentage of volume it will abide. So coming to this completely, the composition of atmosphere, has been divided into two major parts. One is the major gases, and the second one is the minor gases. So these are called as your minor gases, and these are called as your major gases. So till argon, nitrogen, oxygen, and argon are the major gases, and from here to here, what and all we have is minor gases. So what are the meaning of major gases and minor gases? So major gases are nothing but the gases which are an above of 0.5% by the volume of the atmosphere is called as your major gases. So the nitrogen, oxygen, and even your argon will become your major gases. So coming to the carbon dioxide, neon, helium, methane, and krypton will become the minor gases. So these will form a minor gases because these are less than the 0.5 percentage of volume. These are less than the 0.5 percentage of by volume for the atmosphere. These are the greater than 0.5% of atmosphere by volume. So these are called as a major gases and minor gases. So basically, if you can look at this complete composition of the atmosphere, the 21% is of oxygen and the 78% is of nitrogen, and all other remaining gases will absorb and attract a percentage of only 1%. So the majorly nitrogen is having a major composition in your atmosphere. So going ahead with this, again, we have like two types of, again, the gases are divided into two types. So basically first one is the fixed gases and the second one is variable gases. So fixed gases is nothing but the gases which does not change their composition from time to time. So for example, nitrogen, oxygen, argon, hydrogen, helium, neon. So all these things are called as your fixed gases because they do not tend to change their composition from time to time, even when they react with the other components in the atmosphere. So coming to the variable gases will change their composition from time to time. So when they react with the other components, so such as carbon dioxide or oxygen, oxides of your sulfur, oxides of your carbon dioxide, and water vapor. So all these things are called as your variable gases. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes. It is audible, sir.
Audible. Okay. Sorry. So these are next going to the structure of the atmosphere. Like we have a different layers. As you can see, first one is the troposphere, and second one is stratosphere. Third one is mesosphere. Fourth layer is thermosphere, and fifth layer is exosphere. So basically, I want to explain you that the first layer of the atmosphere is itself is a troposphere. Generally, it is having an altitude of 0 to 12 kilometer. Okay, 0 to 12 kilometer, and all our environmental activities are going to happen in only the first layer. So that is called as a troposphere. So it is having an altitude of 0 to 12 kilometer. So coming to the second layer, that is stratosphere, it is having an altitude of 50 kilometer, 50, and it is free from all the clouds. And third layer is called as mesosphere. It extends up to the altitude of 80 kilometer. And fourth layer is thermosphere. It extends up to 80 to 400 kilometer. So the layer between the troposphere and the layer between the mesosphere and the troposphere is called as stratosphere. The thick layer is called as a stratosphere. The layer between the thermosphere and stratosphere is called as a mesosphere. So the layer between the mesosphere and exosphere is called as thermosphere. So we have a different, as I said, like we have a different layers which will come across your things. So we should understand the basic structure of the atmosphere, because without the structure of the atmosphere, you are not going to get anything, because it is most important. So going ahead with the introduction now. So next is the important part. So the introduction. As we know that the air is essential for a life itself. Without the air, we cannot survive for a longer time. So if we can assume without the air, you cannot even survive for a few minutes also. So we need an air. It is a must and should. So it is a primary inhale of an individual in our body. So it constitutes the immediate physical environment of living organisms. And the atmosphere has been layered into four distinct, as I explained you in the previous slide, it is troposphere, stratosphere, and mesosphere and thermosphere. So coming ahead with the air pollution right now. So as you can see that, so these are the pollution which is happening from the thermal power plant. As you can see the cooling tower, we have here cooling towers, and we have the chimneys. Okay, we have the chimneys, which are the largest structures which are there from your particular thermal power plant. Okay, thermal power plant. So anything that is present in the potential hazard to living things which can be considered as a pollution. So anything which is like a potential hazard to the living organisms, maybe for a wildlife animals, or maybe for a public, or maybe for your any living organisms. So if it seems to be a potential hazard, then we consider it as a pollution. So what exactly is air pollution? Air pollution may be described as the imbalance of the quality of the air, so as to cause the adverse effect on the living organisms on the earth. So we have a different imbalance in the quality of the air. So as you assume that now we have whatever the quality of air happening here is different, and whatever the quality of air which is having at the residential sites is different. So you can just measure. So we have a good quality of air in the residential plots, and we have a bad quality of air during the industrial sites. So when the good quality of measures combined with the bad quality, it will become the air pollution. So if you want to give some of the examples, we have an example called the Great Smoke London example, December 1952, which is the basic thing. So whereas our complete air pollution has come into existence because of this Great Smoke London. So what happened is during that time, the 1,000 people died in that particular event when the Great Smoke London is happened. So after that, great environmentalism has happened, and the people started thinking about the air pollution. And even if you think of the Bhopal gas tragedy, so everyone may be knowing about the Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, so what is Bhopal gas tragedy? Like, whereas, so it happened during the 1984 season. So there was a gas leakage called as a methyl isocyanate. So because of that, many people have died, and there was a big gas tragedy, and it has happened during the winter season of Madhya Pradesh, and many people like innocents like billion people have got some many people have got some eye irritation, and some thousand people have died because of this Bhopal gas tragedy. And Delhi smog is an upcoming this one as an uh, upcoming smog. There is upcoming air pollution which is happening during the winter season in all the years. Especially we have a particulate matter which is 2.5 below, and which is not in the permissible limit. Because of that, the transportation of the vehicles and the agricultural waste. So there are a lot of effects on the public, such as there are an eye irritation happening, and there are severe respiration orders, which is respiratory disorders happening, and because of that, it is reducing the visibility of the even many public people also. So you should know all these things, because you should be aware of what are the different effects of the air pollution, what are the where the different air pollution has been happened, and why this has been happened, and what are the different tragedies, and how to overcome this is the most important task. So that needs to be completely measured. So now coming to the definition of the air pollution. So air pollution occurs when the gases and the dust particles or maybe our odor are introduced into the atmosphere in a way that makes it to the harmful to the humans or animals and the plant. This is just because of the air becomes the dirty. And it can be seen that we have an indoor air pollution as well as the outdoor air pollution. Any visible or invisible particle or a gas that found in the air that is not a part of the original normal composition is treated as your air pollution. This is most important. You should understand this concept. Any visible or invisible particle or gas found in the air that is not the part of the original composition. Say example, as I told you that, so the Earth atmosphere has been divided into 78% of nitrogen and the 1% of the other oxides and 21% of the your carbon dioxide. So you have to think now. So if it crosses the all this percentage, or if it crosses the normal composition, then it becomes the air pollution. So coming to the sources of the air pollution. So as I told you, like we have a different types of sources. So one is the based on the origin of source and based on the spatial distribution, and based on the position of the source, we have a different sources of the air pollution. So starting ahead with the classification of based on the origin of the source, we have a natural sources and as well as the anthropogenic sources. And second one is we have point sources, and so air pollution based on the spatial distribution, we have point sources and aerial sources. And third one, we have based on the position of the source, we have secondary source, stationary source and mobile sources. So we have a different type of sources. If you want to give an example for natural sources, so the volcanoes or the forest fires. So if you want to give an example for a natural sources, we have an example called as the volcanoes, or maybe the desert dust, or maybe the forest fire, or if you want to take some salt spray from the oceans, are the different examples of the natural sources. So coming ahead with the anthropogenic sources. So anthropogenic sources are nothing but the sources which are got from the industrial plants, maybe are from power plants, or example, say some example from motor vehicle, or say some gases from the waste combustion, or maybe the quarrying and mining. I think you may be knowing about the quarrying and mining being a civil and mechanical, because quarrying and mining are the most dangerous thing if you don't consider proper prevention measures. Because of that, the air pollution is more at the quarrying and mining site also. And even the domestic burning of the wood, so this is again the most important task. So many people are burning the wood without taking a proper precaution. So domestic burning of the wood. So all these things will come across the anthropogenic sources. So these are the classification of your anthropogenic sources. So when it comes to the spatial distribution, we have again a two different sources. So one is point source, and the other one is your mobile source, aerial sources. Point sources and aerial sources. So what do you mean by point sources? Point sources are nothing but which adds the pollutants to the air at a particular points are from the chimneys. So I showed you the diagram here. So this is the point sources. So whereas the pollutants are adding to the air at a different particulate points from the chimneys. These are from the chimneys. So and affects only in the restricted areas, because so there is no house which is built near this industrial plant. or thermal power plant. So what happens? It will affect only to the restricted areas. So such as an example of industrial unit. So what are the line sources or aerial sources? So aerial sources are nothing but we have a towns and cities which add the smoke and gases over the wide areas. Say example, if I want to give an example, you have a fossil fuel. Assume that you have a fossil fuel because of the burning of the woods. So we have to get the fossil fuel because of the burning of the woods. So all these things are comes under this area sources. So coming to the stationary sources and even your mobile sources. So mobile sources are nothing but you assume that you have an automobile exhaust. You have an automobile exhaust. Because of that, you have a mobile sources. So happening. So automobile exhaust is such an example of your mobile sources. And stationary sources are nothing but you have an tower. Okay, you have an what is that called? Your transmission tower, or you have tower called cooling tower, or you have a automobile shop which is having an mechanical draft cooling tower. So all these are stationary sources which cannot be moved to a new position. So all those pollutants which are coming from all these stationary sources are called as your air pollutant towers. So these are the different sources of the air pollution, which I wanted to explain you people. Now let me take you people to the air pollutants. Okay, so this is most important. Again, as I said, so why it is important? Because see, air pollutants sources you should understand. So I have explained you in detail which are the different sources of the air pollution we have according to the source, distribution, and position of the source. Now explaining you which are the primary and secondary pollutants you have in your society or in your public. So basically, the air pollutants have been categorized into two major pollutants. The first one is the primary pollutant, and the second one is called as a secondary pollutant. So the primary pollutants are the pollutants which are emitted directly from the identifiable sources. So which are directly emitted from the known sources. So identifiable is nothing but known sources which can be identified. So which, if you want to give an examples, we have an example of oxides of carbon or oxides of sulfur can be taken as the primary pollutants. So coming to the secondary pollutants are the pollutants which are produced in the atmosphere when certain chemical reactions takes place among the primary pollutants. So if you want to give an example, like carbon dioxide reacts with your water, so which will become your H2CO3. Okay, so this is how you have to understand. So how the reaction will take. So this is the primary pollutant, and this is the secondary pollutant. This is the primary pollutant and this is the secondary pollutant. When primary pollutant will combine with the secondary pollutant, so we will get the final element. So that itself is your air pollutant. So again, we have a different classification of primary and secondary pollutant. If you want to give a classification based on the state of matter, we have a gaseous pollutant and we have a particulate air pollutant. So gaseous pollutant are nothing but the gaseous state, the pollutants which are at the gaseous state at the normal temperature and pressure. So if you want to give an example, we have a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and oxides of the sulfur are the gaseous pollutants. And coming to the pollutant, particulate air pollutant. So we have a dust and fog as an example of particulate air pollutant, which are included in the suspended droplets or solid particles. So if you want to give a suitable example of a primary pollutants, as you can see here, so these are the examples of the primary pollutants. So what are those? So sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and volatile organic compounds, carbon monoxide, and lead are the major primary pollutants of air pollution. And the secondary pollutants of the air pollution are what we have is ozone, sulfur compounds, and nitrogen compounds. So this is must. This question they are going to ask you even in your what do I say, like exams, wherever you have exams like GATE exam or you take up some any other exam, they're going to ask you the question. If you will have a choice, well, which are the secondary pollutant? Example like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and ozone. So what you should do? You should write the exam. You should write the answer it as ozone. So that is most important. So ozone is the proper answer for a secondary pollutant. So going ahead, so I want to explain you now which are the major pollutants. So I gave you major air pollutants here now. So I'll explain one by one now. So first one we have is carbon monoxide. Okay, when it comes to the carbon monoxide sources, so which will contribute into a incomplete combustion of the fuel, because we have a 56% of the complete road vehicle sources are from our road vehicles are road vehicle air pollution are happening from 56%, and because of that we have a major effects on carbon monoxide. So our blood contains an hemoglobin that everybody know, and which has a high affinity towards the carbon monoxide as compared to the oxygen. Hence, instead of the oxygen, blood transports carbon monoxide in each part of the body, resulting into a dizziness and even a further death. So, carbon inhalation of carbon monoxide is dangerous to the health, and the permissible limit of carbon monoxide to the society or to the public is 2 microgram per meter cube. So, after the 2 microgram per meter cube, so it will cause a serious effect on a particular person, which can even lead to the death. And we have a secondary air pollutant, like again we have a second one is oxides of sulfur sources. In oxides of sulfur sources, we have sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. We have a sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide as the oxides of the sulfur sources, which are happening from the thermal power plants, and which can be got from the burning of the coal bar fuel in the industries. As you can see this particular diagram, okay, so the 20% of the effect is from gases and gas cars and trucks, and 25% of the pollutants are from craft, recreational lawn and garden equipments, and 5% is from the emissions from the point sources, and 15% is from the solvents, that is gas stations and auto body ships, and 20% is from the wood burning, residential wood burning. So all these things will create a air pollutant in a society. So what are the effects? Now assume that you have your sulfur dioxide reacting with the, when sulfur dioxide combines with the water vapors, it will form an acid rain. So everybody know what are the effects of the acid rain. So it will affect the mucous membrane. Together it causes the deterioration of the structure, because the structure can again, as I said, like, so without that the structure can even be collapsed to a larger extent. So you should understand why the structure has been collapsed and what is the what is the reason and all those things. So without that, again, as I said, like, it is most important to understand what are the different sulfur sources which are happening in the public. So next is major pollutant, again third, oxides of the nitrogen sources. So oxides of the nitrogen sources, we have a vehicular emission, domestic sewage, degradation of the organic matter, and the fertilization of the plant. So as you can see this diagram, so basically the dust and construction is happening to a 45% of the air. Because of the dust and construction, there are a 45% of the air pollution are happening, and because of the waste burning, we are getting the 17% of this complete society is burning by 17%, and the diesel generators are burning by 9%, and industries are burned by 8%, and domestic cooking are by 7%. So because of the oxides of the nitrogen sources, so it will result in a petrochemical smog, and the permissible limit of nitrogen sources are only 80 microgram per meter cube, only 80 microgram per meter cube. So next is particulate matter. This is most important. You have to understand the meaning of the particulate matter. So without the particulate matter, like you will not be able to know what exactly the meaning of this and all those things. So particulates are nothing but an atmospheric aerosol particles, in which what we do, atmospheric particulate matter or suspended particulate matter, microscopic particles of the solid or liquid matter are suspended in the air. So to a larger extent, particulate matter are a mixture of the solid particles and the liquid droplets which are found in the air for a longer time. For a longer time. If you want to give an examples, the dust or the salt particles or the water and the sulfuric acid droplets are the examples of your particulates, which refers to any mixture of the solid particles. You may mix any solid particles to a longer time in the atmosphere are treated as your particulate matter. We have two categories. One is PM10 and one is PM2.5. PM10 is nothing but particle size less than 10 micron diameter. PM2.5 is nothing but particle size less than 2.5 micron diameter. So we have two particulate matters. So if at all, if it crosses more than these two, so then the sources of the particulate matter are, we are getting the dust from the vehicles, we are getting the smoke from the industries, and we have a burning of the fuel in the vehicles. So all these things are the sources of your particulate matter. So what happens if the sources are affecting the nature? So the person can be caused by an asthma and nausea or eye irritation or maybe lung problem or maybe a serious problem. Okay, so you have to take care of this particulate matter which will come up below the PM10 and PM2.5. And lastly, we have oxides of carbon sources. So because of the oxides of the carbon sources, like we have a burning of the fuel, sources are burning of the fuel and decomposition of the organic waste. And lastly, methane sources. So methane sources are the sources of the methane are like we have a marshy land and we have a landfill slides and we have a degradation of the organic matter. And because of this, there is a serious concern on the greenhouse gas emission. So there is a serious concern on the greenhouse gas emission. So what and all I explained. So as we can see, what are the different effects on the human body? So if you see that, if you assume that now carbon dioxide has been emitted into the pollution, okay, in the nature, then because of the carbon dioxide, more carbon dioxide will get the fainting and what are the effects on the human body is the person will get fainting and he will get headache and the rapid breathing effect will come and the increased pressure and the heart rate will move to the faster rate. And when the carbon monoxide has been released, so majorly, so it is a highly toxic material, which is, and if it combines with the hemoglobin, it will cause a permanent tissue hypoxia, and it will damage to the heart and nervous system. And if the nitrogen oxides have been released into the atmosphere, like nitrogen dioxide and nitrogen monoxide, so it will causes the adverse effect on the respiratory system, like such as hypoxia. And if ozone is released, so it will cause an irritatory effect on the respiratory tract, which will damage the lungs and bronchi. And volatile organic composites, because of the release of the volatile organic composites, so we will get the carcinogenic disease, and because of the radon, we'll get again effects. You should understand what are the different types of pollutions we have and what are the different effects on the body, which is happening. And we'll even get will
Is not visible.
Yeah, sorry, my network was bit slow. I'll share the screen again.
All right, it's all right. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I think screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So because of the adverse effects of because of the release of the many elements, like we are causing this shortness of the breath and chest pain, fatigue, and because of the ground level ozone release pollution, which can cause the breathing difficulty in breathing supply, shortness of the breath, and even the fatigue. So even it will causes the effects on plants also. In what way? So as you can see, there is a reduction of the photosynthesis which is happening during the because of the metabolism and physiology of the way of the particular element, and even the less appearance of the foliar injuries which are happening at the leaves and canopy. And as you can see that the regular shape has been not appeared because of the release of the very worst elements, and even the plant growth will not happen, and the underground process will not happen properly. So all these things will lead into the indirectly it will lead into the less air supply to the public. So similarly, this is the same as explained. Now I'm coming to the different types of air pollution what we have. So one is the outdoor air pollution and other one is the indoor air pollution. So we have a smog, we have a particulate, we have an acid rain, and we have a greenhouse gases, and as well as we have the thing called the household cleaning products, and the painting supplies, the cooking and heating with the solid fuels. So going ahead one by one, so let me explain the first explanation, that is smoke. So smoke is nothing but again an air pollution that reduces the visibility. It was first used in the early 1900s to describe the mix of smoke and fog. To describe a mix of smoke and fog. What happens if you have a different smoke? Okay, so if you have a smoke, like it will affect on a human health. So because of the mixture of the air pollutants that will endanger the human health, will cause a asthma, chronic bronchitis, or lung infections, and cancers are caused. So you should understand what are the different types of like problems will happen because of that. So as you can see that the smoke is often categorized into a summer smog or a winter smog, and photochemical smog is found, for example, in Los Angeles, which is a type of air pollution which is derived from the vehicle emission from internal combustion engines and industrial fumes. So particulates, as I explained you previously, PM 2.5 and PM 10. So we have different categories of particulate matter. So bacteria, dust, smoke, or airborne viral particles are the categories of the particulate matter. So as you can see this particular diagram, so as you can see the gaseous contaminants are having a less micron in terms of micro elements, and as you can see the suspended atmospheric dust is there, settling dust is there, and heavy dust is there. So we have a different types of dust, we have different types of biological contaminants, we have a different types of your particulate contaminants. Even your fly ash is a different particulate, even your fly ash is a different particulate contaminant, and we have a gaseous contaminant. So we have a different contaminants which will give you a, which will intact pressurize the particulates. So because of the particulates, it will happen the acid rain. So acid rain again, when acid rain results when the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are emitted into the atmosphere, and which are transported by the wind and air currents. So this is the complete explanation of the acid rain. As you can see that, so acid rain will destroy the plants and pollutants and water sources of the soil, and which will erode the buildings also. So as you can see, because of the when the gases are combined with the droplets, which will form the acids, and it will drop as the rain which will drop to the earth will act as an acid rain. So basically the gases are released into the atmosphere, and that will turn as an acid, and because of that the acid rain will happen. And we have a greenhouse gases, so a gas that contributes to the greenhouse effect by absorbing the infrared radiation. So that is called as the greenhouse gases. So there are 4 different types of gases are there. We have a carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. So going ahead with the causes of air pollution. So I'll not take much time. I'll take another 10 minutes to finish off. So we have two natural causes. Two causes of air pollution. One is natural sources and other one is human sources. So natural sources, as you can see that this particular diagram, the smoke that comes from the wildfires are, as you can see, the volcanoes are methane or dust. So this is the wildfire, and this is the volcanoes, and this is your again another volcano. This is the smoke which is happening, and the human sources are which are happening from the human. Natural sources are happening from the naturally, which are not man-made. This is a man-made sources. So man-made sources are nothing but we have a power plants and automobile fumes and the burning of the wood stores, fireplaces, and even furnaces. And all these things I explained. So then I'll directly go to the case study. So let me take up one case study. So called as a Norilsk pollution, which is the Norilsk pollution which has happened in Russia. Okay, so it is a very like I think everyone might have heard this Norilsk pollution, which is a greater example of a red blood fever. We have a red blood fever bread that I'll show you right now. So what are the why I have taken this case study is so most important concern of just a second. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So what is the Norilsk pollution? Why I have considered this study is we have a very variety of example in this pollution. In 1.9 million tons of sulfur dioxide was emissions was done annually here. So this is an analysis is happened at Russia actually. So this is around in Russia. So it affected around 170 people because of this pollution. So it has affected to the 170 people. And during the summer season and even our winter seasons, everywhere from June to September, and even to the winters when they are long. So this pollution, knowledge pollution, has come in the Siberia province, which is happening at the Russia. So now, as you can see that this is the Siberian city of Norilsk, which is happened at the Russia. So because of the complete air pollution which has happened from the industry, so this city has been completely made with the air pollution. So as you can see, this mining center. So basically, they are making the mining center and the largest mining and smelting company. Because of this mining center, completely the Norilsk city
मेरे
was
स्कूल के
absorbed
बच्चों
by
के
the air
नाम
pollution.
आकिब हसैन भट्ट, आबिद नूर, आदिल अशरफ भट्ट, अदनान रफीक,
Hello.
आफरीन बशीर, अली मोहम्मद ताहिर, अनीक राजा, अनीश शर्मा, आरिफ हुसैन, अरशद जमवाल, असरार अहमद वाली, बाबर चौधरी, दानिश
Hello.
बशीर, भूषण कुमार, दिव्यांशु गुजराल, यसर बंडे, हर्षित बिलोच। क्या है
Hello.
ये भी ने ऑन क्या
So by 2014, the Norilsk nickel was producing the 44% of the world's palladium, 14% of the platinum, 13% of the nickel, and 2% of the copper. So the Norilsk nickel complex is worth because it has been 2%. It has been contributed to 2% of the Russia's GDP. So there was a nickel factory which is present in the Norilsk city. Because of that, so the complete city has been affected by the air pollution, and around 170,000 people has been affected because of that. And as you can see that the pollution which impacted is, so we have a sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, phenol and chlorine are contaminated completely into the environment. And because of that, the negative impact on the local lakes and fragile ecosystem. So this is the photo of the Norilsk pollution which has taken. So this is the air pollution which has happened because of that. You can see the polluted city everywhere here. So because of this complete thing. And because of the complete pollution which has happened, there have been a long health impacts on the particular persons, like on the society, on the public. There is a digestive malfunction, and there have been some cancers and asthma, and there have been blood disorders. And as you can see, like the people are wearing masks at that point of time only during 2016. So this happens during 2016, and the polar bearing wandering in the streets, as you can see this, and these are the effects of the acid rain, and there is a deforestation which has happened in that particular thing. So as you can see, and even the President Vladimir Putin visited during the 2010 and warned and announced the increase in the environmental fines. But even then, the measures taken to control the pollution were the president informed the people to shut down the factory for 74 years and to reduce the emission levels to 75%. And as you can see that during the 2017, the total air pollutant emission decreased by 12% because of the shutdown of that particular factory. And now they are doing the rehabilitation and restoration of the area. And in 2017, the total work injuries were down by 45% year on year. So these are the measures to taken on a control pollution, basically. And although there are signs, but to reduce the high pollution, they replaced the old equipment, and they made an environmental friendly technology. After the September 2016, the local people reported that heavy pollution that turned to the rivers, water into the red. So I will show you the diagram now here. So this is the blood red Siberian River. What happened is, so some people are telling that it is because of the just water drain. So some environmental engineers are trying to tell that it is because of the water drain, but local people are suggesting that it is because of the heavy pollution which is causing because of that particular factory. So company's explanation was that the heavy rain caused due to the filtration of the flood into the river. So coming ahead with the conclusion of the today's presentation. So air pollution has been a serious problem in the world. So one should know what is the air pollution and what are the different classification of the air pollution. Without the air, the earth would be unable to sustain the life. And as we should know that it is important to educate the public in and around the society about the government policies to know the air pollution measures. And it is the duty of every citizen to keep the city clean from unwanted waste and make it environment friendly. It is every citizen duty. And altogether, we can just remove the human effects and environmental effects to a larger extent, but you have to you get united to do all these such events. So thank you one and all for your patience listening. If you have any doubts, let me know. I can just clear it off.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Now, I'm audible, sir.
Sir, you are not audible. Shivam, sir.
Am I audible, sir? Good afternoon.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you are audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, carry it. Yes, you are audible, sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to one and all joined on this wonderful event. I would like to present the vote of thanks. I take this golden opportunity to thanks the respected guest speaker of this webinar, Professor Mahesh CL of Department of Civil Engineering, NITTE, Meenakshi Institute of Technology, Bangalore, for attending this webinar in his busy schedule. We will cultivate the advice given us in the real life. Thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Can I continue?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
I extend my gratitude to the
Yes, you are
respected.
audible.
I extended my gratitude to the respected Dr. A.K. Srivastava, sir, Director, YCET, Engineer Dinesh Gupta, sir, Dean, YCET, and President, IIC Cell, YCET, and Engineer Rajneesh Mangotra, sir, Head of the Department, Civil Engineering, YCET, not only for spending his time with us today, but also for encouraging us to achieve many endeavors. Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to thank the dignitaries, professors, heads, members. Sir, last but not the least, I thank my fellow assistant professors, students for enthusiastically arranging this webinar. Without you, this webinar would not be a success. Thank you so much, sir. It's all from my side. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Once again, Professor Mahesh CL, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Shivam,
so
sir.
much, sir,
Thank you, Shivam,
for
sir.
accepting our
Yeah,
invitation. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Please convey my best wishes to Rajneesh sir ji.
Sure, sir. Sure. I will,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll leave the meeting now.
Have a nice day,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Now we shall cut the session now. Thank you.